That's a tough one, that is.
I mean, you can drop the names. You know.
Imagine you just blew your knee out and then you're like, all right, cool. After like 3 months, you're like, I'm going to do some pistol squats. You're like, what? You're like, how?
We have met. How has the day been?
It's been all right. Yeah. Just tired.
I mean,
as usual.
it's 12 a.m. Or is it 12 p.m.? 12 p.m.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, it would be weird meeting at 12 a.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. And did you go to the gym?
No, not today.
So it's a rest day.
Today's a rest day. Tomorrow I got training, so
Okay.
yeah.
How's the training going?
It's good. No, it's going good. Better, but still improving, so yeah, it's not bad.
When did you start training? I mean, I'm asking you. all this.
Pre-season.
Pre-season, yeah.
I think we started in February time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just to let everyone know what we're talking about, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are for those who don't know you. Yeah, go.
Okay, so I'm Burkan. I play American football, so I came to Eddie back when? Last year? Has it been a year since we've been together?
Yeah.
Yeah, been a year. Yeah, I've been training with him, been getting stronger, fitter, to be honest. And yeah, he's pretty much improved every aspect that I asked him to improve. One thing being my bench, to be honest. That wasn't great, and my squat. But yeah, that's the basics of who I am, really, not much.
So where are you? Are you from the UK? Where you born?
Yeah, no,
So-
I was born here. I was born in the UK. I was born in London, but originally I'm from Turkey, so that's why I'm not looking like the typical British guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't look Turkish either, so it is what it is. But yeah, I was born here, stayed here for my whole life. I did go uni at Loughborough, so that's the only time I kind of moved away from London and stayed somewhere else for about 4 years. But no, I'm born and bred here.
Ever been to Turkey?
Yeah, every year.
How often do you? How much time do you spend in Turkey whenever you go?
Roughly around 2 weeks. Back in the day, we used to do like 3 weeks, but now with obviously jobs and stuff, it's probably gone down to about a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not
And your parents are in Turkey or here?
No, they're here. They're here. They like to try and visit Turkey as much as they can, but obviously when they're old, it's harder to travel every time. So
I see. And how is life in London compared to Turkey? I mean, Turkey is actually London is not a country, by the way. How is life in England compared to Turkey?
you know what? Turkey currently, England's much better compared to Turkey currently. Their economy there is dreadful. Like, I could never live there right now. But back in the day, oh mate, Turkey would like you. It's got this sense of it's like a holiday, but also your home at the same time. It's like a weird feeling. And the culture then, the living style there is slightly different, obviously, to England. If it was, 10 years ago plus, 14 years ago, some people would, it's a very hard decision to make. Where do you want to live, England or there? Probably I'd sway to there because of just how everything is. But right now, as bad as England is right now as well, with everything that's going on, with what's happening in London and stuff like that, I would still pick London over the current economy in Turkey now.
I know Turkey for Alanya. Am I correct? Alanya is in Turkey, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you meant Antalya.
Not Antalya.
No, you meant Alanya. All right, cool.
Is it Alanya? Yeah, it should be Alanya.
Yeah, no, there is
no. Because I remember when I used to go to school and whenever we had a time off, not me, but my friends would go to Alanya to kind of like, party.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That this is where I'm like, I don't know if they mean Antalya.
Maybe it's Antalya.
I think they meant Antalya.
It's whatever the parties is, bro.
Yeah, that would be Antalya. That would be 100% Antalya.
Okay. So, by the way, your introduction seemed like you were giving me a review, but
I did not mean that.
But I take that as a compliment. I take that as a compliment. Yes, I have trained you for about a year now, and I got introduced to you through Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal, who I also trained at the time. He also plays American football. You guys play in the same team.
Yep.
And I've coached you through whatever the games the past months, and we are also continuing.
Yes.
But this podcast is not about our coaching and him as my client. I just wanted to know more about you and what made you start playing American football.
Yeah, that's a bit of an interesting one because I first kind of got introduced to it on a small scale back at secondary school. And that's when one of my friends went to play basketball in America. He came back and he brought one of those American footballs with him, and we were just throwing it around. And I thought, oh, this is quite fun.
Yeah.
Then when I went uni, one thing I saw at Loughborough was they had a strong American football team. And kind of that's how I got introduced to it there. But back in the day, I was like same height, but I was like 68 kilos, a light, small, skinny guy. Yeah. And I couldn't really get into the rugby team because Loughborough's rugby team was like an elite level. So I was like, that's definitely out of the picture. But then I was kind of like, you know what, I really liked American football before, let me give it a go. So that's kind of where I got introduced to it.
Yeah.
And started playing it there. And I kind of became to love it because it kind of includes everyone in every size body that you have, but also it pushed everyone to go gym, get better, get stronger. Because we had that kind of ethos of if you don't go get stronger or get, lift some weights, you don't have to obviously get bigger, but if you just don't get stronger, you're going to get folded. And I remember getting introduced to that pretty early at that team. So it was good. It was a kind of blessing. And I had a great 4 years there. And then from there, went to the senior ball and then started keeping going. So yeah, that's how I kind of got introduced to it, and that's where I came to love it. And I've been doing it ever since.
And in total, how many years have you played American football?
So I've been playing since 2013. So I'll probably say about 2013. So I've been playing about more than 10 years, just about 10 years. 10 years, yeah. This will be finishing my 11th year, I guess.
Did you play any other sports in the past?
Yeah, no, I used to do a martial art called Aikido back in the day. I played football quite a lot. I was playing when I was much younger, playing like Sunday league kind of football. Then I did a lot of swimming as well, was in the swimming club as well. That's, I think, all the sports. Oh no, I played a bit of cricket at primary school, but that was about it.
Okay, so the reason I kind of looked up was because your fiance.
No, so yeah, you could link that.
And then you mentioned cricket, and I was like, no, they were not together.
Yeah, I was about to say that's back in the day. Yeah. So like back then, it was pretty cool because it wasn't a full-time actual sport that the school was doing. It was just like I think when they introduce it and go, oh look, you can play this and stuff.
Yeah.
And we only had one game, and that was against another team, and it was a real full-on friendly kind of situation of trying to just introduce people to the sport.
Yeah,
that's the only time I played it. But yeah, no, that was an interesting time. Would I have played it again? Not sure. I think I was too young to even think if I could continue this. It was just
it was just part of the routine. Yeah. And speaking of routine, how does your typical training day look like today?
Right. So if we're talking about gym wise, or if we're talking about gym wise,
or let's go quickly through a week.
Sorry. So I train on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays gym. But then, so my Monday gym would just be whatever program obviously we've set at that point. So I'll try and prepare for it by having a not too heavy breakfast, but a kind of light, and then I'll maybe have like a quick nutrition banana between. Go gym, try to do a bit of stretches beforehand, and then just hit the workout and get it done. Then lately I've been doing a lot of walks to try and just keep muscles moving, and just it's not keeping fit because usually you should be running, but I wanted to just do like an hour and a half walks just to keep it active. Then on Wednesday again I'll have another gym session that's program review, but then I'll have a training session in the evening with the team. So that day is quite a heavy day. So a lot of nutrition needs to go in that. But then you move on to Friday. Friday is a bit better because it's near the end of the week. You're feeling a bit more excited. But then sometimes you can be a bit more banged up from the Wednesday. So it's a bit of 50-50. So again, wake up. I'll try and hit that workout in the morning, get it done, because I feel like sometimes even in the evening, one, packed as hell. So you're not going to have time to do anything. But also just it feels good to get it done. Not get it done out of the way, but it just when you're there, you're like, right, cool, I'm here. Let's get it sorted.
It sounds like you've been training your entire life. And I would now like to ask, what keeps you motivated to going to wherever, training, the gym, every day of the week?
Man, yeah, I think it's hard. Every day it changes, to be honest. Sometimes I think the sheer fact that I've got a routine gets me through it, because my body's used to going, it's Monday, you're going gym. You just know you have to go gym, even if I'm not motivated to do it. Sometimes it's difficult because your mood can affect it quite a lot. And there's been periods of time where I would have other stuff going on, and mentally I'm just not prepared to do something in the gym, but I'll try but because I had the sheer routine, I end up being there. And even if I do something small or light, I try and get it done. Now, why did I start doing all this and trying to get my routine in was, again, sheer from American football. I was 68 kilos, looking around me and people going to me, you're way too skinny for your height. And there was times where I'll just run into someone, they're just a brick wall, and they're like, okay, it don't work.
Yeah.
So I kind of do it to make sure that doesn't kind of happen again. And also just to stay fit and be strong. I want to be the type where when I get into my 40s, get into my 50s, I'm still kind of athletic. Yeah,
being
active.
Able to move.
Exactly that. Yeah. Being able to move, being able to just like pick things up still, do everything that I need to still do. And also just more of it's a bit weird. It's more as well that I can know that if push came to shove, if there was a situation that I need to protect people that I love, that move something out of the way or pick something up, or I don't know, just barge through something, I know I can do that. But that's a conversation that people will go, but yeah, when your adrenaline kicks in, I know strength goes, it's different.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that's what keeps me going, really.
I have seen you play in competitions. Can you talk about your competitions? Which competitions were your best? You could talk about one, and your worst, and
best and worst.
Yeah.
As in seasons wise, or are you talking about different sports?
Season wise. So let's talk about American football. So which competitions in American football were your worst and best?
Oh.
And why?
That's a tough one, that is.
I mean, you can drop the names. You don't
I mean, I could. Yeah. All right. So all right. Let's start with worst. The worst would probably be the season that I blew my knee out. That was probably my worst. That was back in 2019? Was it 2020? I can't even remember now. That's how long ago it was. I blew my knee out, completely ruptured ACL. MCL was hanging on by a thread. And it was literally preseason as well. It was preseason. We had a game, 2 weeks after? The season was going to start 2 weeks after. And I felt good. I was moving around, running around, feeling fast, strong. And I had no sort of inkling that this would happen. That I've got pain or whatever. I remember before that at that training session, I was like, man, my hamstring just was a little bit tight. But again, that was normal. When you're in the sport, you get these things.
Yeah.
So that happened. Obviously, I was out for pretty much 2 seasons, prepping myself after surgery, etc. So that was when I was still at London Blitz.
And how did that affect your
mental
mindset?
state?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, massive. That's something that people don't talk about. That when you go through these injuries, mentally is literally half the battle. So first, one half is sorting out, going to rehab, getting better, doing the things that you need to get your leg back in shape. The second half is fighting through while doing that. So it's like, I think I've spoke about this before on to other people as well on previous podcast I was on, and I spoke about the fact that it's tough when you have to wake up, inject yourself for the first 2 weeks with blood thinners, and you can't stand up and go, oh yeah, I'm just quickly need to go to the toilet. It's like, I need to go. So you go, I now need to plan how I'm about to get out of this bed, grab my crutches, hobble along. If the door's closed, trying to open that with one hand with a crutch, and then go around and obviously do your business. Like, and then after that, go, all right, now I need to stand back up, hobble along, and then go back to like, basically all you have to do is sit down all day. That's pretty much. And obviously, yeah, your first thing that you need to learn is how to straighten your leg. That's nuts. It's like, imagine you going, oh yeah, for the first 2 weeks, you're going to learn how to straighten your leg. First 6 weeks is like trying to get it to be completely parallel. And that's all it was. It was working on getting my leg to be completely parallel. Now, that was excruciating pain. And it was just, you sitting there going, is this my life? And I'm still in 6 weeks in. And you're like, and I know this is about to take about another 8 months.
Yeah.
And that's what's tough. And oh, man.
And during that period, how was the relationship with yourself? Because I can imagine how hard that was.
Yeah.
I have never been through that, but imagine being there all alone and having to sort out these things, whereas you have no one there to support you. So how was that? How was that feeling like?
Mate, that was like, so I have to give, props to my friends that were talking to me throughout the whole thing. And especially my fiance, Hadia, she was still, trying to help me out when she could. But it's still alone. You're still kind of having that battle alone, because they can be there and they can, be like, it's going to be okay, and try and console you and, push you through it. But it's that one-on-one battle. And it kind of, I think it built a different me where no matter what, because I came out of it and look at me now, I'm still playing and I'm still going. And it kind of shaped me into realizing that, cool, you're going to have these times where you're going to probably feel like you're in the dirt. But if you just don't look all the way to the end, because how people go, don't worry, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Don't worry, like look ahead, like look really ahead. I'm like, no, don't look ahead, because you're like, that's so far away. Then that's what puts you off. You just look at the next step. And that's what I had to do. I had to go
small steps
at a time. Exactly that, yeah. So I had to go, in that, for example, 6 weeks, get a straight leg. That was my goal. All right, 6 weeks, I need to get a straight leg. Did it in, I think it was like 4.5. I was like, great. You know what I mean? And then I was like, all right, what's the next task? And the next task was, all right, we're going to need to now strengthen on how to, lift it, do this, do that. So then it was like, all right, that's the next month. I need to hit this. Then it was with my previous PT that I had, he then was on it to go and go, all right, cool, we need to now get you to strengthen the muscles around it, etc. And proper got me on that program to get back into it. And I followed it militantly. Like, it was, all right, next step is I have to do, for example, knee stability stuff in the gym. And it was like pistol squatting. Imagine you just blew your knee out and then go, all right, cool. After like 3 months, they're like, we're going to do some pistol squats. You're like, what? You're like, how? Even with a good leg, we're going to do that. It's like, but you just have to kind of get used to it. And that's how I kind of got through it. It was small steps, keep looking at small targets, but that's still progressing. And I think that's how I got through it.
Yeah. So things like that occasionally happen, and you're still playing the sport. You are stronger now, I assume, than before. And based on your past experience with the knee, are there any lessons that you have learned, and how have they made you stronger? Because I don't assume they made you weaker.
Hope not. No, I think the lesson learned would be kind of what I said of keep making, if you've got a big goal ahead of you, so if you've got something that's going to take, a big chunk of your time, make small goals in between. And just focus on achieving those goals not as fast as you can, but still, try and don't lazy around, get it done. And I think it's taught me to break down tough situations into smaller goals. And I think that's how I've been dealing with things. Is if I get faced with something, it's like, right, I know what the end goal is, but how am I going to achieve that? It's these steps. Right. Do one, keep on going, keep going, keep going. Do the other one, and keep going.
Do you only play sports, or do you do something else?
Oh, day job wise,
Wise.
yeah. I'm a software engineer, so I kind of will create web applications and stuff like that. So easiest way to describe it, websites. That's the best way to describe it. That's what I do.
And how do you balance that with your training, with your activities, and so
sacrificing sometimes the social aspect of life? So I have to. So sometimes it will be, that day, for example, Wednesday nights, if someone put an event on, I'll be like, I can't make that. It has to be after training. So that'll be like 10 onwards. That's the kind of sacrifice that I have to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to fit anything in.
you're truly committed to your training. That's, I mean, it's good. It's good. You have to do it now while you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know a lot of people who are regretting and thinking of starting now, while they should have done this like a long time ago. I mean, it's never too late to start. But if you're going to start playing American football, maybe you don't want to do that at 40.
Yeah. You want to, yeah, exactly. Mate, even now, that age I'm at, I'm thinking I'm old. When you see all these young guys coming in, they're like, this, I'm 21. I'll look at them and go, fuck. I'm just like, and they're like, oh, how old are you? I was like, listen, don't worry, your year starts in 2000 and let's just leave it there. I was like, don't worry about it.
Let's talk about one game. You don't need to pick any game, but just imagine any game. I have seen you play, and I have a question. What role does your mental mindset play in a game?
Oh, massive. So you have to be switched on every play, every time. You can't switch off. The minute you switch off, you're either going to get hurt or you're going to hurt the team by missing your assignment or doing something wrong, and then that could go straight for a touchdown. That's what's tough about this sport, is you have to obviously be physically ready, but mentally you have to be there. If you're not on job, you're going to fuck something up. And it's happened. And we're not all perfect. It will happen to someone where you just one minor switch shot and you get punished for it.
How do you balance the demand of training and competition with other aspects of your life? Competition is quite demanding.
It is. And like, I'll give you a good example. So currently, the team I'm at now, so London Warriors, we are about to start our season in May. It's our first game. It's going to be in May. And we don't know the schedule for that competition until January sometimes. And it's way too late. Like, you can't, sometimes your family wants to book a holiday, or they want to do this, they want to do that. Sometimes you can't always commit straight away. But sometimes you have to go, you know what? No, like, I need to, it's a family situation. I'm gonna, we're gonna book it and hope to God that there's no game in that weekend. So, it's a balance of, you sometimes have to, like, I sometimes tell my family, I go, look, I've got a game on this Sunday. Unless obviously it's a very serious situation, I'm probably going to go to the game. And they understand that. And it's, to be honest, it's how London Warriors conduct themselves as well. It's like, yeah, we're technically an amateur, in this amateur sport, amateur league, but we kind of conduct ourselves as a semi-pro team or even a professional team. So there's sacrifice that we have to make. And I'm very, very, very lucky that the people around me understand that and they support me for it as well. Like, for example, my fiance kind of, she was telling me that, when we get married and we want to have a getaway for a weekend, she was like, we can't do that because obviously you got a game, you might have a game or you might have training and things like that. I said, that's kind of part and parcel of what's going on with who I am, but she understands that. And that's why, we work so much because sometimes this could break relationships. Some people go, oh man, you spend too much time on this sport, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But she's very understanding, she's very supportive. So it's good. And that's why I'm lucky.
And how important is that to you? I know obviously she sees it in a different way. So how important is that kind of support from coming from your fiance?
Massive. It's I do thank her every time, and I do tell her that how much I appreciate it, but I don't think she, I don't think she fully understands how much I do, and maybe I need to emphasize that to her a bit more. But yeah, it's she understands how important the sport is for me, and it is a hobby. But, some people say it's a hobby, but for me, it's more than that. And that's why I think she realized that he's not doing it just to, it's fun. He takes it dead serious, and I do have goals, and I'm trying to reach them before I retire. But fingers crossed I can.
You have played for the London Blitz.
I played.
Is
yes.
it London Blitz?
Yeah. So I played at London Blitz from 2017 to 2019, 2020.
Okay, and then you moved to Warriors.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and Warriors, while you were at Warriors, you guys have played against London Blitz, right?
Yeah.
So, how did you feel
playing against your team?
Yeah.
I kind of, don't get me wrong. It was a team that I started at, a team that I grew up and made friends with. So that playing against them, for me, it didn't feel. I didn't feel like, I don't know. It didn't feel anything massive. It just felt like another game. And the reason for that is I think it's because I trained with those guys so much that I played against them. So when you train against each other, you kind of hit each other every time. So I knew what I was coming into. So I kind of knew the team that I was about to face. So not being disrespectful to the team and say, it felt like a training session. Not at all. It just felt like it brought back those memories, because it's like I played against these guys. I've done that. I've trained against them, trained with them. So that's why I didn't have any sort of, high-end anxiety or whatever. Yeah, cool. I had something to prove when I played them, but that was my first season at Warriors, and I was still building myself up from the ground up, because again, that's when I just came back from my knee injury. So I wasn't nowhere near the player I used to be, and I didn't have high expectations of what I'm about to do. So I didn't have anything to really prove. You know what I mean?
Why did you leave the team?
So controversial. No, it's not. It's very easy. It's
Scandal.
Yeah, so it's very easy. I left the team for kind of numerous amount of reasons. When I done my knee, first thing was, how many seasons do I have left in me? Because not a lot of people do. Some people come back from the injury and play about 2 seasons and they're done, right? Because they're like, the knee can't handle it. And one of my boys played at the Warriors at that time. And we were always talking about like our group of friends to play on the same team. So I thought, that's kind of swayed me to play over there. Another thing that kind of swayed me was that it felt like something was changing at the team. And I'm not going to, disrespect them in any way. It just felt like it wasn't the team as of old. And it just made me go, right, kind of solidifies why I want, might as well then make that jump, go over there. It wasn't I'm moving because I want to win this thing or whatever. It was just more of one, my friend was there. We wanted to always play together before we all retired, because he might retire soon as well. So, and I have 2 of my other mates. One of them has retired, thinking about coming back to play, and the other guy has come back to play as well. And we're on the same team now, and it's fun playing against them because they're technically 2 O linemen. So we hit each other every training session, and these guys are like 6'4", 6'5", massive guys, and I'm just there like, great. Like me and my other group of friends, people were like, oh yeah, you're quite tall or whatever, and then I'm go up next to these guys, I look like a child. it's nuts. But yeah, that's what kind of pushed me to move, and made that jump, to be honest.
So if we take a look at everything that you have gone through, like you have experience and so on, would you say that has made you a resilient person today, or and how?
Yeah, no, I think it has. I think it's I've definitely grown from it and become, I'll definitely say I've become more resilient from the whole experience. And that's and how is because of where I'm at now. So going from feeling like I couldn't even jog. Imagine the first time you couldn't even learn how to, like, I had to relearn how to jog or walk properly and then run. And then all these stuff I had to relearn. And I was like, I got through that. And not a lot of people come back from this kind of injury and want to continue playing. Like, there is people out there, don't get me wrong. There are loads of people out there that do, but there's not like a lot in our current, let's call it in our league, that would have that injury and go, yeah, nah, they just kind of go, yeah, I don't want to come back. They don't do that. And also you see it, footballers, right? Professional footballers, they go for an ACL. Do they come back as the same person? Not all the time. And sometimes they pull it there and there. They're like, yeah, I'm done. So it kind of showed me that, yo, cool, I might not be the same guy. I might not be able to move exactly like the same guy, but I've definitely improved. And I think that's because of the team I've joined and the coaches I have. And obviously the strength and condition that we've been doing, and how my previous PT helped me through, rebuilding that knee. So all of that added up to me being where I'm at. And I looked at myself going, if I can get through that, if I can get through going through all of this, surely I shouldn't be sitting there thinking I can't get through the next thing that's getting dashed at me. So yeah, that's kind of my mental state. So whatever it is, I just go, cool, just roll with the punches then, I guess. You know what I mean?
And what sort of advice would you give to the audience that are maybe interested in American football or also injure themselves and fighting to come back and so on? Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
So for the first one, for American football, I would say if you've been thinking about playing it, go for it. Definitely. I think you don't be scared about not knowing the rules, because it will be taught to you. It's a very family orientated culture in certain teams. So you won't feel like you're out of your depth. Maybe in obviously the first season, you'll be like, that's a lot of things being dashed at me, but you'll learn. If you feel like you're undersized to play the sport, trust me, there's always a position for you. But obviously get a bit strong. Like, you don't have to go there, grow massive, but get fit, get strong, and you'll be fine. But yeah, definitely give it a go. Give it a go for 2 seasons. Why not? It's a fun sport. For people that have gone through injury, thinking of, how do they come back from it? Can they come back from it? Yeah, man, anything can be done unless you've got a rod in your arm that you're not allowed to do anything more. But if you're coming back from a similar injury, let's talk about that similar injury, or any ligament injury that you're going through, man, just keep going, because if the moment you stop and the moment you give up, that is when you don't even give it a chance. You don't even, let's say you had 30% chance to come back to be your old self. The minute you stop, that's 0. So there's no point. There's no point of just giving up. Give it a go. Like, what, you're going to spend maybe 6 months, if sometimes, to rehab stuff. That will go by just setting yourself small goals and achieve those as you go on. If you've done all of that 6 months down the line, and you might go, I need another 2 months. Cool. That's not a problem. But then after you've done that and you gave it a go, and then, let's say it's really not working out for you or something like that, just, it's not the end of the world. Just the fact that you tried and you got to where you have. Imagine if you didn't try, you'd have been, your arm or your leg or whatever it is would have been in a much worse situation than if you didn't try. So the fact that you tried has not only benefited you, because now you're like, well, yeah, cool, I can't play tennis or I can't play football, but I can still run now, and I can still do this and I can still do that. So you've actually still benefited from pushing yourself to try and get back. So yeah, go for it, man. Honestly, don't hesitate. And if you do feel alone, just reach out to your friends, make sure you just chat to them, because don't do any sort of rehab alone. That is long, absolutely long. But yeah, that's my kind of advice to them.
Well, thank you so much, Birkin, for joining this podcast and for coming. And I have had this... I really love this talk.
No, thank you.
I feel like we could have talked for many more hours, and we do have a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So thank you once again for coming, and this is the Resilient Sagas podcast with Eddie John and Birkin.
No, thank you very much.
Well done.